Hello, Aquarius, and welcome to February 2020. We are in the heart of Aquarius season. I'm sure you can feel it. Happy birthday to you beautiful Aquarians out there. You know how I feel about you. You light me up, you inspire me, you help me see more clearly, you teach me a lot. Being a Leo sun, I always look to you all to guide me and teach me in this life. And I have to say, there's something really interesting going on in February for the Aquarius clan. Because there's this electrical storm energy brewing for you. Of course, right now it's really interesting because your ruling planet Uranus is over in another fixed sign of Taurus. And that squaring off against your energy with your natal planet, with your ruling planet, is causing this conversation to go on, right? Where the circuitry is getting challenged in new ways, and where there's new ways of understanding your mission and path in life. And so you're starting to work with this energy, and it's quite profound. There's also some really powerful energy going on at this time. Of course, all this energy is moving through Aquarius, but we also have some work going on for Aquarians when it comes to self-value and how you value your voice, how you see yourself, and some really deep clarification on that. The note that came up for me is that this is a month of electrical transits for you. And these electrical transits are hitting into places of mystery and self-value. And that you may feel as though there are circuits that are getting challenged or short-circuited or teased a little bit. But what's going on there? Wheel of Fortune wanted to come right out and hang out with us today. It's very much a month dictated by energies like Wheel of Fortune and Tower. There's a big transformational thing going on here. And Aquarian energy is very important to the collective right now. So whenever it's getting activated, we all feel the presence of this shifting perspective going on. But the thing is for you that this month as a whole is kind of like it's training a muscle you didn't even realize you had. You know, we have all these little muscles in our hands or in our wrists that when we start a new exercise or somebody teaches us something new, we sometimes wake those muscles up. This is kind of like that. And it's waking up and it's getting you to realize something about yourself that you're wanting to share. Page of Wands. Wow. The news is coming in fast, hot, fresh, and heavy when it comes to the Aquarian clan. And there's the energies are working together with you. Of course, if you have a birthday in February, this is your solar return. And so you're already having that sense of rebirth, that sense of reflection, integration, opening up to what's next, right? And if you had a birthday in January, then February is kind of like the beginning of your new year. And in many ways, February is like the beginning of the new year. I think December and January, we did so much heavy lifting, so much deep work, that February is the first month we're fully in 2020. Consciously, wow, you've got two cards, 10 of Swords, the Hanged Man. Wow, transformation is really big here. And this is the first month we're really getting our sea legs in these new energy transits. So we have Mercury doing a a typical retrograde in Pisces most of the time. And that retrograde starts on February 17th, and it's going to start moving back toward you. And by the time we hit into March, that planet is going to start moving into your sign. So the first week of March, you're going to start to feel that Mercury retrograde in your sign. And then on March 10th, it's going to go forward again and then back toward Pisces. But what's really interesting here is it's going across your house of value, your house of worth, and then going back into your house of identity and individuality. So this Mercury retrograde is really having you look at those two aspects. You know, how do you see yourself and how do you value yourself? And taking the time, the gentle time, 10 of Wands. You're getting the 10s that are inviting you to release something, right? You're getting the 10s that are inviting you to release weight, to release heaviness, to release fear, to release busy work, to release feeling like your value is placed on you. High Priestess, yes. Placed on you being hyper productive, filling all these roles, being all these things to different people. That invitation is going to keep coming back and back again, and this Mercury retrograde is going to be showing that. You also have Mars moving into Four of Cups. I'm loving these rest cards here that are giving you some messaging as well. And the King of Swords, I love it. We come back into our full power, full circle through this mysterious, deep time of learning for Aquarians. Mars is moving into your 12th house as well. It's moving into Capricorn on the 16th, and that is that 12th house energy. So problem solving coming from the unseen realm, problem solving coming from more of that internal inspiration rather than from something you see on the ground first. It comes from an energetic place. So you may be finding there's a huge uptick in the way you're feeling that energy. You also have Venus moving into Aries this month, which is really fun and really vibrant, February 7th. And that's really playful energy for you, right? This is very communicative, playful energy. And so while you have some of these deeper evaluation energies going on, these deeper spiritual transits going on, you also have some really playful, flirty energy with Venus and Aries, and also a full moon in Leo. And that is highlighting how you connect with others, how you relate to others, how you let yourself be seen, how you love and let others love you. Once again, this is coupling up with the onset of this Mercury retrograde happening just a week after this full moon in Leo, where it's how do you value yourself? How do you let others love you and step up to the plate as well? So all of these questions are coming up for you all. And I'm finding this really interesting when we look at the cards, because right away you're getting some kind of infusion of information, a fresh perspective, of a new beginning. I think the Wheel of Fortune is such a perfect card for a time when it's your birthday season and you're starting, the wheel of the year is turning. Being a cardinal sign or being a fixed sign is always really interesting, because I think it's really where we feel the full impact of each season. We feel the full impact of each shift in light, and we really start to understand what we're learning from it. And so this energy right here is about a shift from one life to another. This is happening for all the fixed signs during this month. There's a real evaluation of who you are now. Who you've been, who you were even 3 months ago is gone. And now the question is here. What does this new being look like? How do you learn how to be this being? How do you learn how to navigate this energy? What does that look like? There's kind of a feeling of free fall that can come from this, which with your Aquarian free-spiritedness might feel really good. These are quite positive energies that bring in, new inspiration, new ideas, new opportunities, new doorways that you are totally welcome to walk through, right? And there is a warmth and a vibrancy here with this energy. And it is an invitation. And I think sometimes when we are in an invitational cycle, when we are in an agreement-making cycle, which is kind of how I'm feeling this energy for you, what's happening there is you're making a series of agreements about how you want to show up in this next chapter of your life. And part of those agreements is saying yes very clearly and very brightly and vibrantly to certain things. It's also a time to say, are you willing to let go of old trauma stories? Are you willing to let go of old mythology about yourself? And that's what these next 3 cards are really asking of you, and actually the next 4. I think this pattern right here is so beautiful. This is quite profound, Aquarians, and it's not scary. It's not negative. It's not about you sitting still, even though there is a deep reflection going on here. There's a real moment of pause being invited in these cards. 10 of Swords, Hanged Man, 10 of Wands, High Priestess. And I think it is important to maybe take some extra time in February. I will have a Mercury retrograde video up on my Patreon if you're looking to get more inspiration and understanding of this particular transit. But what I will say is Mercury retrograde is something we deeply need as a medicine in our culture. That idea that we are more valuable if we're moving all the time gets challenged in Mercury retrograde, which is why so many of us are uncomfortable with it. And to sit still and to really think, why do I keep saying yes to these certain things? Why do I keep filling my plate full? Why do I keep commitments to things that we need to just look over our contracts, right? Maybe literally, but also I think energetically, emotionally, we make contracts of all sorts, and contracts can come up for review. And that's what's going on here. You know, Ten of Swords is obviously kind of more the visceral, intense version of this. It's a death of self, right? And the Hanged Man as well is that connectiveness to source, that connectiveness to listening in, even when maybe circumstances externally don't make sense, or maybe circumstances feel heavy or sharp or even painful or confusing. You know, this energy can feel a little bit like you're getting confronted by things that are uncomfortable. But what's really going on here is that something's coming to a close for you. And it's interesting because that doesn't always have to mean, you know, big breakups or big job losses. I mean, especially with this type of energy, there's a symbolism going on here that's much more about the internal landscape. But it can feel just as heavy to realize there is a death of one part of yourself as you become something else. Now, here's the thing, though. Ultimately, this is about healing. Ultimately, this is about Aquarian stepping into a peaceful place of leadership, of clarity, of calm, of integrity, authenticity to who you are now. And that's where the Ten of Wands and the High Priestess are speaking to you as well. Because the Ten of Wands is saying, all right, you got too much on your plate. There's something that's not fitting here. There's something that feels like it's just time to let it go. It's not that it's inherently bad. It's not that it's inherently evil. It's not that it's even something on paper that you can bash and say, this is so wrong. Often it's a feeling we have that something has shifted inside of us. And the High Priestess here is saying that's good. The High Priestess is speaking from behind the veil, right? That Mars and Capricorn kind of energy, all the energy we have in Capricorn. If you're an Aquarius rising, you're going to be noticing that there's a ton of information coming from this kind of ineffable energy, right? You have to kind of translate it into words, into action in the world, because it's speaking to you from a really deep place. And it's a calm place. There's a calm center. What would happen if you didn't feel the need to move and be everything all at once? What would happen if you just took, not that you're not going to keep moving through the world and doing stuff, but if you just took that perception of yourself that you need to always be doing that off of your shoulders? What happens then? What do you create then? Who are you then? And you keep, the readings are really, the cards are really interesting today because, like I said, we start with this high energy, high impact invitation. It's all about movement and creativity and going for it and opening up and blasting forward. And then we have a ton of information that's like, but hold still and pay attention. As you make this new agreement, as you step into this new role, pay attention to what is falling away and take a moment to honor it. Because if you do that, if you give yourself that moment to honor what is falling away, what happens is you won't have to come back around like 6 months from now, deep into your next iteration, and have to do this work and feel confused by it. Because the thing that's going on here too is February, because of the quality of the energy, because we are working from behind the scenes, and it's very much wanting us to be on that high frequency of just listening in. The Four of Cups is saying you are preparing for some big shifts, some big new identity shifts, some big new ways of connecting with yourself and your story. And the Four of Cups is one of my favorite energies. It's also a rest card. It's here working with High Priestess and Hanged Man. These three are all on the same team. Quality over quantity, listening over speaking, energy over action, all of those things, right? Four of Cups, it's like you cannot conceptualize quite yet what it is that's coming in. But this is why it's so important to comb over things. Go over your agreements within yourself, within your partnerships, within your projects. Just go over them. Some of them are working great, and they're going to keep working great, and they're going to get richer and deeper as we work through this Mercury retrograde. Some of them you're going to want to tweak a little bit, and some of them you're going to decide you're walking away from. And here's the thing. in the end, your sovereignty, your authenticity, your voice, your wholeness as a being is what's most important. And this is what is leading you forward. You know, for me, the King of Swords is very much an Aquarian who is feeling empowered in their choices and is feeling empowered in who they are and honoring that and not getting stuck in their mind traps of overthinking, overanalyzing, putting that high standard level that you often get to. I see you all. You can think yourselves into these perfectionist loops where no decision is correct. But the thing is, all this energy right here is like, there is that inner being you that knows what's correct. So even if it's difficult to honor it initially, once you let your authentic self speak and make those choices, it's easy, right? This is a decisive energy. This is very clear-cut, conscious, rational energy in some ways. And I mean rational not in the sense of parsing through your pros and cons, but in clearly this is what I'm feeling. Clearly this is the road and the path I need to take. So there's a clarity. And for me, it feels like when I'm feeling through these cards, feeling through this idea of some part of you waking up, like the note that had come up with you was something within you is waking up and taking you on a new path. And you really are getting directed on some new paths this month. The thing that just keeps coming up is it's one thing. It's not necessarily overturning your whole life, but there's this sense that you are clicking into something of great impact and great value. And that doesn't mean you need to be running toward it. It's okay to sit with it and integrate that information, and you will still be doing so much in doing that. And that's what I want to really iterate here. And also, I'm personally a really big fan of these phases where we are in an agreement making cycle. I think we're always making agreements with ourselves and with those around us and the way we build our schedule. That's like a constant thing that is constantly flowing in our lives. But there are times when that agreement making process is really loud. And this is one of those times where you can almost like feel and hear those internal agreements being made and recreated and shuffled around. I can feel it. And it's a really fun time to journal, to vision board, to notice if you weren't going to limit yourself to what you're asking for, and nobody's going to see the list of things you're asking for. Nobody's going to judge it. What do you write on that sheet of paper, right? It's a fun time to maybe just like let it all out. Ask for what you really want, not the like toned down version of what you want, but what you really want. And, knowing that you don't need to share this with everybody. You don't need to tell everybody, this is my list. It's just for you. This is a really great time to do that. And let that heart sing rather than trying to cripple it and smash it, out of fear of being hurt or damaged. I wrote up a whole bunch of words for the month of February in this bowl, and I'm going to pull one for you to close out our session today. The word is focus, and that's perfect. I love that so much for you all. Because like we saw that King of Swords at the end, right? I can't think of a better word to fit with King of Swords. And like I was saying, this isn't about all the aspects of your life. There's something very specific happening for Aquarians here. There's something very specific opening up, calibrating, connecting, clarifying this month that you're supposed to be focusing on. And it's okay, I think, like I said, you're getting these 10s, which are about simplifying. Why are you holding on to all of this stuff, focusing your energy in 20 different directions? There's one direction you can be focusing on. There's one aspect of yourself that you're tweaking, renegotiating, checking in with that's really important right now. And this is an amazing time to just focus and slow down and listen in via that high priestess energy, which I know you have. You all are, 11th sign energy. We're getting close to the end of the zodiac, and this is very expansive energy. And when you're really honoring that that's who you are and that's how you move through the world, your ability to receive information is quite brilliant and amazing. And so I want you to trust that part of yourself that is so innate in you. And, maybe you have been trained, we've all been trained in different ways to push our authentic selves to the sides. And we're not talking about, telling people your blunt opinions. Yeah, that's nice, whatever. We can all do that. When I'm talking about authentic self, I'm talking about, those times when we want a sweet, soft moment to ourselves. Those times when we're really feeling some really deep emotions about a situation and we feel like we shouldn't. That's when we start to block our authentic self. And it's in these little micro edits of ourselves that we start to feel a worthlessness. And you're being asked to not micro edit yourself if you are feeling deep emotions, if you are feeling strongly about something, if you are feeling a deep shift. These are part of your authentic expression, and it's important for you to honor those parts of yourself, Aquarians. I think because you have such a high standard, and because you've had to learn to shut off some of your authentic uniqueness in the way you move through the world, it has been sometimes a struggle to let yourself out of those expectations that have kind of been slowly put on you throughout time. And this is a really nice time to gently ease that off as you're expanding into this next phase. Trust yourself, and I promise you will hear some really helpful and really beautiful information coming in this month, and you'll get a lot of clarity, not from running around and trying to manhandle everything, but from just slowing down. Like I said, if you're looking for more material and more ways of ease, more ways of softness this coming month and moving forward, you can join me on Patreon. I will have that Mercury retrograde out very soon, and I'll also have a lot of other tools and resources for you over there. So if you're looking for a soft place to land during this time, I would love to see you over there. You can also find me on my website, SARAHTAROT.com. I have a handful of sessions left in February. I'll be opening up more in March, and as the months elapse, I'll keep opening up more. So if you're looking to work one-on-one with me, I do Skype and Zoom readings. I would love to see you. You can also find me on Instagram at SarahVerba. And of course, as always, I'm wearing PinkLune's gorgeous jewelry. She's my girl. She's one of my best friends, and she makes such beautiful, heartfelt things. So go check out her Etsy shop. I'll leave all of the goodies, all of the links in the description box so you can find me. I'm sending you so much love. You know how I feel about you, Aquarians. I love you so much. You've taught me so much in this lifetime, and I'll always cherish everything you've shown me. Have a beautiful February. Happy birthday. I will see you in March for more of this Piscean magic, more of this Mercury retrograde, partially in your sign, and we will have more fun and more moon magics ahead. Have a beautiful February.